welcome back.
I'm back.
She's back.
I never left. But I'm here. I'm back.
She's
and
here.
This is the diesel heater part 2.
Yes, it's been a long time coming, but this is the bit where we actually fit the diesel heater into the van.
The incorrect way.
No, that's just mean. All right, I've left it in the video. I've made a bit of a cock up and I had to fix it. So yeah, that's kind of fun, but not for me, it wasn't. All right, well, there's not really too much to talk about other than just to get into it, and yeah, here you go. Oh no, of course, we haven't said what it is yet. This is our favourite game, Eberspacher.
Oh yeah, but people called it
the Espar D2 heater.
Eberspacher.
Eberspacher, ja.
I don't know. That's it.
Das ist so Deutsch.
Eberspacher. I don't know.
I don't know why I did that one. Das ist ein voice mein Handy. Ja. Anyway.
Diesel's crystals, but here it is, the video.
Today it's going to be the diesel heater. I've already put some bits and pieces into the van already for the diesel heater, which you may have already seen on Instagram and bits and pieces like that, because I'm sort of kind of doing sections at a time as and when I've got things exposed. So for instance, I had the seats out and put the actually I'm going to start this again. Right, today is diesel heater. I've already got in place the fuel line that comes from the fuel sender under the passenger seats in the van. You may have seen that from Instagram. I had to get that done before I could put the bulkhead in. So that part of it is taken care of, which is quite a chunk of the work, to be fair. Next, I literally have to get the unit mounted onto the floor and put the I've got a sort of stainless steel shroud thing, which I'll show you in the video as well, and that therefore is going to be positioned. I can then get my electrics to it, the diesel from underneath coming up into it, and so yeah, that's where I'm at today. Not really much more to say about it other than the fact that this unit is remarkably similar to the Chinese ones. However, the quality is immeasurably superior in every dimension, components. The Chinese one's like this, and the German one is this big, the Eberspacher. Because I'm a rather nervous worker underneath vehicles, I have taken to putting chocks under every single wheel. So I've got my little ramp there to give me some elevation. But yeah, just thought I'd be safe. And probably most of you are looking at that thinking, well, what's those little bits of wood gonna do? Well, I'll tell you what, I've taken the handbrake off and it ain't moving. So put the handbrake back on again, obviously. So yeah, it just gives me the confidence to be under there. But before I get started with anything, gotta clear it up.
Fall back just a little bit. Can you let me off? I wasn't.
Alright, so I've unpacked most of my bits and pieces. The one thing I wanted to make sure of, first of all, because I'm in kind of an electrics mode in the van, is I just wanted to make sure that I've got the correct supply going down to the area where the heater's going to be. Now, to do that, I thought I'd find a wiring diagram somewhere, but actually what they give you is a compact disc, which is about as useful to me as a fart in a spacesuit, because I don't have anything that can play a compact disc, believe it or not. Oh, look at me, all tech. I then downloaded the PDF, and the PDF is equally as useless, because it doesn't actually give you like any imagery to determine which wire is which. And let me just show you why this is an issue. I'll spin you around. So this wiring loom comes separately to the heater. So this little thing here connects on, and as you follow it down, we get to this bit where one wire turns into 3. At this point, these 3 wires head off in various lengths and in various cable sizings to find that we have 3 separate sections, one of which is this end with a green and a brown. So naturally green and brown doesn't compute because I don't know what that means. And then you've got like 10 wires here off of another section, and over here we've got another load of wires. Fortunately, I have found some assistance from the world of YouTube. I've been looking at some videos, and Nate from Explorist Life, his videos are always brilliant. They're great. If you haven't got a clue about what you do in van electrics, then just see him and see all of his videos, because he explains everything brilliantly. If I'm feeling really smart, I might put a link here, but let's be honest, I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, so yeah, going through his little YouTube video on this, he's been kindly giving me lots of advice, which he doesn't know about because it's on YouTube, and I've been labelling up each of these. So this is the power supply, is the one with the 4 cables. The brown one is neutral. The thicker red one is the live. The thinner red one is also a live, but I think that's probably for going to the what do you call it, the thermostat controller. And according to Nate, the red and white one we don't use, so fair enough. The other one, which I also have labelled, the green and the brown. The brown is negative, and the green brown, or green, is it green brown, green red? Green red is positive, and this goes to the fuel pump to power the pump. And then finally, this bunch here of all the different colours are all for the controller. So if you've got a digital controller or a manual or an easy start or whatever, these have very specific things that they do. And once I learn all about that, I'm going to put it in my video. But taking nothing away from Nate, I'm taking every piece of information that I'm doing for this, I'm actually getting from that guy right there. So this is the position I want my diesel heater in, so that essentially when I put some panelling running off the side of the shower room here, it's going to basically get lost into the seat. I might have to put a little fillet just above here to just turn the angle in, but ultimately it'll be kind of flush down there. So to protect my insulation and all the other bits and pieces, I need to drop this into the floor. This obviously is a lot wider, so inevitably what I'm going to have to do is trim a wee bit of this off.
Fall back just a little bit more. Decision time ahead, but I swear by all the rules that we have set. But with you the words fall out of my mouth, and if I stood it and I shout, you would.
Alright, you may have noticed in the little video I had to stop, put some protective clothing in, because the burns coming off of the heat of the dwarf coming off onto my arm was actually really hot. So yeah, I just popped a jumper and some gloves on. But this is really cool. Look, so this is a sort of cross-sectional sandwich of the van floor, my packer that I put in, and then the 25mm insulation, and then the 15mm ply above it. So essentially that is the entire floor all the way around the van. And taking a cross-section of it has just sort of reaffirmed to me that what I've been doing is right. So yeah, cool. One hole. Need to give it a good clean up, but let's see if this fits. Oh yes, like a glove. Perfect. No, I probably want to hoover up first, but while I've got the camera rolling, let's just bump this in. Ta-da! Yeah. So it falls just within all my lines of tolerance. So I've got this here, so it's flush with this section, so it means nicely I can get a piece of ply up here and then maybe just taper it in at the top just to bring it in nicely into there. The front of this, I'm going to have just some vent slots in here so that the air can come through here and off to where it needs to go. Alright. Right, I have got my little housing for my fuel pump. This made a lot of sense because obviously I've got electrical connection going in here. It needs to be on the angle, it needs to be lower ideally than the heater. So the heater's going just up there, you see the hole. So that's going to be positioned there. And this is an IP66 box, so it's waterproof. I'm now just going to pilot drill this, even though I know I don't particularly have to, but because I've got Tech-Fast going in. Tech-Fast screws are these. They're like self-drilling, they've got a drill bit on the end, so they just kind of wind straight through. I haven't got a particularly good angle here, so I'm going to try and pilot drill this first, just to give myself a fighting start.
Somehow, but I just don't care.
Okie dokies. Right, so this is my primed line. Can I see that on there? Yes. So this line is full of fuel. This is coming from the fuel sender. This is then going to go onto there. And I'm going to finish off this section now up into the actual diesel heater. And now I need to get the power into this. So here is my diesel heater wiring loom down here with all my wires. That comes in from round the back of the shower room in there. It's going to come along underneath the kids' bed and then along into the kitchen. I've actually decided to put the Easy Start selector on the kitchen just above the kitchen worktop, which is likely to be about here somewhere. Reason being, if I'm in bed and I want the heat on, I can press it. You know, or if it's been on and I'm in bed, I want to turn it off. Nice and easy, just reach over and press the button. So for simplicity, that's what I've done. Diesel heater is mounted to the side of the seats. It fits in there pretty snugly. I'm quite happy with its location. I've just done the final connection on the diesel side of things, which let's take you under the van. So as you can see here, this is the diesel pipe coming from the sender. This then links onto this. This is some pipe that was left over. One thing that wasn't so coherent is there doesn't seem to be like one of these rubber things that actually acts as a reducer. So I've had to just put a piece of extra pipe I've had laying around from my Chinese diesel heater to sort of pack this off to make it big enough to go in there, which is suboptimal. So within this box is the diesel pump. I'm going to get that open shortly, but I wanted it nice and protected. So it's in there, and then from the diesel pump we have the pipe that runs up next to the air inlet for the combustion inlet, and then the exhaust, as you can see from over there, with the silencer strapped onto the underside of the chassis, and then it exits just over there, you know, to the side of the other exhaust, the main exhaust. So yeah, all good. Some high temperature silicone around the little shroudy holey thing. And that's the underside. The loom that comes with the diesel heater for the actual power of it requires two different live inputs, and one of them's 5 amp and the other one's 20 amp. So presumably the 20 amp one is for actually the operation of the heater. The 5 amp one, I'm going to guess, is for the easy start select and probably the pump or something like that. They're keeping them separate. I'm not entirely sure, but it requires 2, which they give you a nice little fuse block, so you can put your 1 amp fuse into one section for the pair of wires that need that, and then it has another little fuse block for the 20 amp fuse. I didn't bother with that. I just wired the 1 amp section of it straight into here. So I've got to print me a new sticker, but this was a spare way. This is for the 1 amp side of the diesel heater, and then this one here being the main one. And as you can see, the cable thickness is a lot thicker. I think it's a 2.5mm cable on there, and obviously onto this one it's just a little baby 1mm. It just made more sense for me to wire it straight into this than mess around with other fuses, because once this panelling's all done, I don't want to be getting it off to change fuses. So nice and easy, it's on there. I think we're pretty much ready to go, which leads me on to the next part of this, which is the actual battery. So I've just plonked in a little baby 100 amp battery in there, which you can just about see. It's just to get us going, really. I'm not going to put anything real heavy load for it. So this is our setup. So out of the links, we've got the isolator, we've got our 400 amp fuse, we've then got our cable that goes to the battery, coming back from the battery into the shunt, and then out the shunt into the links, and essentially that's that. So I haven't got any fuses in here yet, and all the other ends of the cables are terminated. So one by one, as I second fix everything around the van, I can then pop the fuse in and get it tested. So the first thing I'm doing is the diesel heater. I've got my 2 switches on, so diesel heater on, and then the secondary power on there, and then that leads to this, which presumably is on. So this is the easy start select. So let's have a look at how to do this. From what I understand, the startup is automatic. So I've primed the line with diesel, but only as far as about sort of 20 centimeters away from the pump, and then the pump then needs to fill up with fuel and then start pushing it into the diesel heater. So I'm going to start this up. It might fire up first time, but the likelihood is it's going to probably take a few minutes to get the diesel to it. So let's see about this. On. Okay, there we go. Let's turn the temperature up. Actually, it's probably about 30 degrees in here anyway, so I can hear the clicking under the van. That'll be the pump. It's just cool air coming out at the minute. Oh, you've got to be joking me. Oh, don't do this to me. No, I've mounted it the wrong way. So I have cocked up. Ultimately, it's the wrong way round. I wanted the heat to be coming out that way, but the heat's coming out this way. The good news is we've got some serious heat coming out of there now. So 2.1, 2.2 amps, that's its current draw. Set it to 18. So after yesterday's faux pas, I've now got to undo all of this, take the heater out, spin it around, drop it back down, and fit it all together again. because my heater was under there, the wiring loom sat through this little gap here, which is where I need it, because on this side I've got boxing going here. So if I then spin it around, which is what I need to do, that wiring loom is now sticking out the wrong side. So I think there might be a way of swapping this. There's a little grommet-y thing just here, so I get the feeling that I can quite literally put it into there. So let's see about taking it apart. I had this bit off the other day. Oh yeah, and there it is. So silly me, in my mind there's a little hot air sign there, so I'm assuming the hot air comes out this end, and that's why I've got it the wrong way around. I've spun it around. I can't get that other grommet to shift off of this wiring loom, and so what I've done is I've plugged it into the spare grommet into there, and I'm just going to leave this essentially like this. I'm now going to just reassemble it back together again and give it a test. I will look to YouTube to see if anyone else has done this, because obviously I don't want to be the first one to do this.
Hope you liked that.
And if you didn't, whoops.
Including the mistake.
You've watched the wrong video. Yeah, well, you know, I haven't explained really the installation part particularly too well, but just follow the link in the description, or the box thing that I've just put in, not up here, it's in earlier in the video, the little box thing, and that will take you to Nate from Explorers Life, and that's where I learned how and which way the wires went, and that's all the instructions I had, because they were on that silly CD-ROM.
So now we're going to hope this is going to keep us nice and toasty in the van.
Indeed, and it works really well. It's very, very effective, and it uses very little fuel, so...
It's not noisy, that's what
No,
I mean.
no,
It's very
no.
quiet. It's quite a good one.
The Chinese one that we had in the workshop, crikey, that was loud. It sounded like a jet engine, and so I couldn't think about, you know, pulling up next to someone and going...
Here we are!
Anyway, yeah, well, thank you very much for watching. You know what to do.
Oh yeah. Like, I don't know, subscribe.
Subscribe and all that.
Till the next video.
Indeed. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for
Goodbye.
watching. Bye. No, sorry. That's the intro. Outro. Bye.